6 years ago, people still refer to that, still burned into the collective consciousness across the island. Even younger kids hear stories from their parents and grandparents about the damage caused in 1992. So the sense across the area is to take this threat seriously.
And again, this is a threat you need to take seriously. Usually it happens about 10 years or so where the islands are dealing with the threat for a hurricane, and we have a very powerful one nearby.
Yeah, we're keeping a very close eye on Hurricane Lane that is currently taking aim at the Hawaiian Islands, and we want to get you the latest on what you can expect with the forecast on Lane. So let's get you a look at some new information that we have this morning. We're talking about those weather conditions currently around that storm system. Lane continuing to move northwest at about 7 miles per hour, bringing in winds of about 145 miles per hour, currently a Category 4 hurricane. And again, big concern for the Hawaiian Islands. Now, because Lane is so close by, we already have hurricane warnings out for most of the islands. That's mainly on the southern end of the islands, tropical storm warnings on the north end. And for our far northern islands, we are still under a hurricane watch. You can expect to see that upgraded as we move through the day today into the day tomorrow. Now, here's the forecast track for Hurricane Lane. Keep in mind the scope of this cone. Anywhere inside of the cone is a possible track for Lane, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's going exactly where you see the yellow shading. It could be anywhere inside of that, more to the north, more to the south. But the main takeaway is this storm is coming very close to the Hawaiian Islands through Friday, through Saturday, and it could bring in a direct hit to some of those northern islands as we move into the weekend. So this storm will continue to weaken as it does move off to the north and eventually to the west. It is expected to downgrade to a Category 1 hurricane by Saturday morning, but still has that potential for some devastating effects to the islands, talking heavy rain, strong winds. Here's a look at that rain forecast for us. Our Big Island forecast anywhere between 10 to 15 inches of rain. That's a lot, and we could see local amounts totaling over 20 inches. Headed north, totals are going to be lighter all the way through Tuesday, but we could still see local amounts up to 10 inches, and that's a lot. And because of that, we do have flash flood alerts out, including warnings and watches. Those are going to run through Saturday. Honolulu, our forecast rainfall is going to be anywhere between 6 to 10 inches. To put that in perspective, annually get about 17 inches. So we're getting a huge chunk of that annual rainfall in just a short span of time. And we are looking at Molokai to pick up anywhere between 8 to 10 inches. And again, that could bring us almost half of the annual rainfall of about 24 inches. So a lot falling all at once. And Marcus, we are going to continue to track this storm. We still have some new information we're talking about here as far as its forecast track, the winds. That is going to be an issue in itself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the winds with this powerful hurricane definitely will be an impact and could potentially lead to power outages. So let's take a look at that wind field and a few other things that are going on. When we talk about these tropical storm force winds, we're talking about winds in excess of 39 miles per hour. And as we head throughout really the rest of this morning into the afternoon, we're talking about those strong winds impacting the Big Island of Hawaii. Then as we head toward Thursday evening, we're talking about more of those winds getting closer to some of the islands farther to the west. And then by the time we get to Friday morning, Friday afternoon, we're talking about at least tropical storm force winds all across Hawaii. So winds will definitely be a big factor. And again, as we zoom in, we want to point out some of these times this morning into the afternoon hours. We're talking about those winds really picking up anywhere between 39 and 37, really 73, miles per hour. As we look to a Thursday afternoon into Friday morning, we're talking about those winds again stretching farther to the west. And then for a few other areas as we get toward the really the islands that are farthest west by Friday evening and Saturday morning, we're talking about those tropical storm force winds and potentially hurricane force winds nearby these regions. So we'll continue to follow this wind threat. We also want to show you that high surf concerns are out there, anywhere from 8 to 12 feet, even higher, potentially in the warning areas. And as we take a look at this ensemble forecast, most of the models are taking the storm north and then curving it to the west. We'll be back talking more about what's on the way, including severe weather in the middle of the country. Stay tuned.